Oh gosh, I wish I'd known all this about Filipinas when I first arrived 4 years ago. It would have saved me a lot of head bashing and hair pulling. I'm bald now. So you're thinking of dating a Filipina, or maybe you've been dating a Filipina a while, but still unclear what she's banging on about with their dialogue and weird behaviour. Filipinas don't speak your language. The majority of them speak English, but it's certainly not the English that I'm used to. So for those foreigners new to Filipina speak, I've put together a list of Filipina quirks. Some of them are naturally quite cute, which you might have already come across. Others annoy the hell out of me. But you'd best follow this lesson carefully, as you'll be coming across these with most Filipinas you'll meet.
Hello, good morning, good evening, and welcome to Big World Cinema. Without further ado, we'll continue with what you're here for.
The first thing a Filipina might say at the start of a conversation is "lo". Is that hello? I ask. Then there's TY. I actually googled TY thinking it was Tagalog or Bisayan, but it turns out TY is an abbreviation for thanks. Always abbreviating stuff. Why do all words have to be abbreviated? Today's generation are so lazy, can't even be bothered to type out the appropriate word. That's wasting scrolling time, keeping up to date with all the other nonsense on the internet. I've never felt that I've needed to learn another language, but tuning into a Filipina's lazy tongue is literally learning a new language. In your early stages of trying to understand a Filipina, you will encounter a number of barriers. Firstly, her ability to actually talk, or inability. Filipinas are generally shy, or will say, "I'm shy." They will say they don't open up to strangers until they know them or feel comfortable with them. So a lot of early conversations won't be conversations as such. You'll just be asking them questions, like at an interview. Only their answers are naff, as they only say one-word answers, and have got no chance of getting the job anyway. So they don't like to give away a lot at the start. It's as if they're testing your waters. I just want to say, can you please be more elaborate with your answers? But that'll only confuse them. Mobile phones were the size of bricks when we first caught sight of them. Filipinas, or the ones you're dating who were born this century, have grown up with smartphones in their hands and never let them out of their sight. I'm often in despair when texting with Filipinas. They spend so much time on their phones but will take ages responding to your message, as if they're working through their other suitors first. They've got so many choices now, and you're not their first choice. If you don't message them first, they won't message you, unless they're a scammer. Regular Filipinas don't bother. It's like they're not really interested in you. You can spend the best part of one day exchanging texts with someone, then the following day, nada, nothing, ghosted. You think you've been getting on really well, and I dare say if you text first, she'll respond. But I often don't bother, just to see what will happen. And nothing does. That'll teach her. Or not. She asks how long you've been here. Don't tell her, Ethel! Filipinas are so accusatory and judgmental. You've been here 2 months. They don't think, "Oh, how many beautiful islands in the Philippines has this guy been to? All the gorgeous scenery he must have enjoyed." No siree. How long you been here translates as, how many Filipinas have you shagged since you arrived? You must have shagged 200 Filipinas by now, God willing. How about you, love? How long you been here? You've been living here 23 years. How many guys have you shared a knee trembler with behind the buffalo's barn? So two-faced. Filipinas don't consider themselves to be loose at all, even if they have fathered 3 illegitimate children from 6 different Pinoys. Don't be so honest. Filipinas aren't, so why should you be? 80% of the country may be practicing Catholic, but Filipinas lie religiously. Just tell a few porkies. Tell her you just arrived this week. I've only shagged 60. I started chatting to a Filipina recently. On her Tinder profile, she'd put her WhatsApp number, so I messaged her. She was actually more responsive than others. She asked the dreaded question, "What are you looking for?" As usual at this stage, I want to say something facetious, something like, "Isn't this the Find My Beaver helpline?" But Filipinas don't get humour, and she'd have blocked me. In fact, I swerved the "what are you looking for" question. I mean, years ago, when we signed up to online dating sites, it was pretty obvious what we were looking for. But obviously not anymore. Nowadays they want to know if you're going to put a ring on it before they decide whether to meet up with you or not. Filipinas are so sensitive and suspicious and insecure. Why is such a common word with Filipinas? Anyway, the lady told me she was working as a DH only. Naturally, I turned to my good friend Google, which provided me with the only abbreviation, as my American baseball friends will tell me, designated hitter. Being unaware of any female baseball teams in Cebu, I thought Google must be wrong in this case. So naturally, other thoughts ran through my crazy head. Drives horses, designs hospitals, digs holes, then a light bulb moment, domestic helper. But I wasn't too sure, so I messaged back, "Domestic helper? Question mark. Yeah. Why? What the problem of my work?" She immediately retorted. "There's no problem," I coolly replied, "just asking what DH means." "Okay," she replied. "Filipinas get so defensive," I added. "I was just asking." "Yeah, sorry," she said. "No worries," I replied. The conversation continued. "How many kids you got?" I asked. "2. Why? What do you think of me?" "Well, you made a mistake the first time, and now you've got 2 illegitimate children from different guys. What do you think I think of you?" Actually, I didn't type that. The poor lady was obviously having a bad morning, what with getting up early to do a job she didn't really want to discuss while searching for a foreign guy, with no confidence that her domestic prowess actually ticked boxes on Joe Foreigner's search for a Filipina wife with good domestic skills spreadsheet. But this foreigner's not looking for a wife who's already been knocked up, not once, but twice, by a fast-footed Filipino. So I cut her some slack. "I don't judge," I lied. "Do you prefer living in Cebu or where you're from in Bohol?" I asked. "Why? Do you want me to go back to live in Bohol?" "Do you have many siblings?" "Why?" "I'm just making conversation," I say. You really need to choose your words carefully. Everything you ask is a loaded question. They may be shy and simple, but overanalyze everything. What you believe to be an innocent question or a joke understood as such by women in your own country is often misread by Filipinas. If you crack what's meant as a funny, get ready to say, "Only kidding," immediately afterwards. You often need the patience of a gynecologist whilst chatting to Filipinas. Now, if they're quick to give you their WhatsApp number, then I don't trust them. All Filipinos have at least one Facebook account, so I'd rather stalk my way through their Facebook or Insta profiles rather than be faced with a blank canvas on WhatsApp. If she doesn't want to tell you her Facebook or Insta, she's hiding something. Thing is, they're so stupid with it. You just type their Tinder username into Facebook and their profile comes up. The profile where they're single anyway. They'll have linked this to their second account where you can see they have a boyfriend and 2 kids. Funny how they never told you about them, their other life. So even though their lives are all over Facebook, when they're trying to attract a foreign sponsor, however, they're cautious not to reveal too much of themselves. And at the same time, pretty suspicious and will automatically think negatively of where your questioning is heading. I get pretty frustrated with the preconceived notion that foreigners are all the same. Last Friday evening I got a message on Pina Love from a 27-year-old single mum asking me to add her on Facebook. It was past my bedtime, but I started chatting with her. Her first question, surprise surprise, was, "Hey, have you been in Cebu for a long time?" Here we go. I could have lied, but I'd had a couple of red horses and felt provocative. But I replied honestly that I'd arrived in 2020. How about you? She said she'd been here since 2018. Hadn't tried dating a foreign man. "I'm sure you've met a lot of girls already," she said. "Nope," I responded. "Filipinas assume that. There's more to the Philippines than meeting lots of girls. I'm not like that." Great! I think most guys on Pina Love want to have fun only. Sure, but don't judge everyone the same. You've been here since 2018. The same could be said of you. My mate Victor used to say to me, "You're not going to get laid," with some of the answers I give. But at times I need to vent. As the conversation continued, she asked how old I was. If it's not rude to ask. Again, I could have lied, but I said 63 last week. "Oh, okay," she responded. "So we have a long age gap." At least her math is good. The gap is 36 years. "And," I replied, "I work out and swim daily. If you met me, you wouldn't think I was that age. But anyway." "I'll think of it first," she replied. "I want to have more kids." "Great! I can't wait to hear what you decide," I said, ending our chat.
Here at BWC, Uncle doesn't charge a subscription fee like Auntie does, but buying us a coffee would be much appreciated. Thank you.
In the West, we use the word single to mean that we're free and available, whereas Filipinas use the word single purely how it relates to their marital status, even if they've got a boyfriend and 3 kids. They will say, "I want serious relationship," as they're not keen on casual relationships, allegedly. They all say now, "I want serious." Just using the word serious and relationship together in the same sentence sucks any joy there might be out of the arrangement. They will not say, "I want a casual encounter," as that means they are a loose woman. But many Filipinas will want to meet you just to see whether the truth about a foreigner's genitalia is true. Filipinas say they have a good sense of humour. That's what they keep telling me anyway. But they don't really get Western banter, or bants, as we call it in Blighty. Before I got together with my one and only serious relationship, I'd joke around with her. "I'm just joking," I'd say. "But I want serious," she'd say. "Yes, I know, me too. But you just said you're just joking." I'd scream as I bashed my head against the wall again. Alongside serious, they will state date to marry. This is quite a new thing. Filipinas aren't original thinkers. Once they've seen one Filipina write it, they all want to say the same thing. So nowadays, the majority of Filipinas, even if they've never had a boyfriend or many boyfriends before the age of 23, will say on their dating profiles, "date to marry," before jumping straight into bed with you after you've treated them to a chicken delight at Jollibee. Most of you will know this one, as it's the most overused phrase that every Filipino will tell you when you're contemplating a liaison. Age is just a number, they cry in unison like a communist slogan. Age is just a number! Which is a complete fallacy, meaning the closer you are to the grave, the better. It's actually amazing how any of them manage to get into serious relationships, what with all the nonchalance and negativity amongst Filipinas. I get really frustrated with a lot of Filipinas' low self-esteem. Their attitude can be summed up in a few different words. These are: I'm simple, nothing, and never mind. One of the first things you'll come across on a lady's dating profile are the words I'm simple, meaning I'm boring, uncomplicated, I'm an empty shell. Now in the West, this expression has different connotations. We'd refer to someone who was mentally challenged as a bit simple in the head. Naturally, when I point this out to simple ladies in the Philippines, they're not that keen on continuing our conversation. Nothing, they say. On the profile, in the part where they're trying to sell themselves to potential suitors, they will actually type nothing. Now leaving it blank is bad enough, but to go one step further and actually type the word nothing seems to be taking the biscuit. I mean, come on, sell yourself, woman. If you're not interested in yourself, why should anybody else be? So one major downfalling with Filipinas is communication. I guess you can say this applies to all Asian countries where English is not their natural tongue. Whenever I've had relationships with Asian women, I've had issues with a breakdown in communication. I'd like to think it isn't me. But one of my pet peeves is the expression, never mind. Oh Jesus, I've heard this so many times, not just online, but in person with Filipinas. These couple of words really frustrate me. It's just lazy use of English and basically means you don't know what I'm talking about, we're at loggerheads here, can I really be bothered taking the time to explain to you? No, I'm too lazy, I can't be asked. A similar word is secret. My Filipina girlfriend used to say this all the time in a sing-song voice. Secret! Gosh, which means I'm not telling you. Communication? Pah. On the other hand, there's a few words you'd love to hear being said to you, such as I love you. Filipinos are very quick at saying I love you. The first time my Filipina girlfriend said it to me, I was quite shocked, having only known her 5 minutes. The words are not really meant in such a serious outpouring of love for you, however, but are often said as a throwaway comment when a Filipina likes your company or is appreciative of you. As seconds later, the wind can quickly change, and if you say something she finds offensive, she will say she hates you. Filipinas are simple creatures after all.
If you enjoy this channel's content, please could you like, share and subscribe. Thank you.
Once you've managed to get past the initial one-word banal introduction and have managed to penetrate your Filipina into the deep conversation, blissful state of your courtship, you'll be a regular recipient of the "Are you busy?" text, which basically means, what have you been doing for the past hour? Why haven't you messaged me? They love attention. If they feel they're not getting enough, they'll chuck their toys out the pram. Not talk to you. What did I do? I'm not telling you, I'm giving you the silent treatment. Tampo, it's called. Tampo temper tantrum. Words or phrases related to time are in abundance in Filipina speak, which is pretty ironic as they're always late. If you say you're doing something and will get back to them, they will say, take your time, which has a similar context to are you busy? They don't really mean take your time. What they really mean is there really something else you'd rather do than be spending precious time with me? During which, I'm going to be late anyway. It's just our way. We don't really think it's important being on time. When we say we're on our way, we mean to take a bath. We'll be anything from half an hour to 2 hours late. Don't worry, it'll be worth it when we finally arrive. You can watch us looking at our phones. When I'm chatting with girls online and I suggest we meet up, you'll often be told the 2 words you really do not want to hear. I don't think I can even say them. Oh, okay then. These words are maybe and soon. If you're ever told maybe and soon, I suggest you move on. These words are basically the same word in Tagalog, which translates as never. Do not bother responding, because maybe and soon are the kiss of death and will never happen. You'll be kept at arm's length until they run out of excuses and make up stupid ones like their buffalo's sick. I chat with girls online who have no intention of meeting me. I really don't get their game, but they're just bored, sat in their boarding house. They just keep up the conversation over a period of time. Just time wasters. We call them prick teasers in my country, sending you provocative photographs, but absolutely no desire to meet you. Which is ironic, as one of them was called Desiree. We started chatting on Pina Love, then moved to WhatsApp. She'd recently given birth, so now had an incredible rack. She asked if I was staying in a condo and did I want her to visit me. Yeah, sure. Let's Netflix and chill and eat foods, she said, asking if I'd pay the babysitter fees. Sure. We'd video chat regularly, which normally coincided with breastfeeding time. I'd ask if today was a good day to Netflix and chill, and she'd repeatedly say it's hard for her to come over at the moment, but would then send me a 26-second video with her top raised, playing with her large new assets. Every month when I uttered the words Netflix and chill, she'd respond with the dreaded retort, maybe, soon. Obviously, that day never came. Her child's now in kindergarten. In Cebu recently, I started chatting to a girl who lived in Sibonga. She also kept using the word soon. Said she really wanted to meet me, but couldn't come to Cebu as she didn't have the fare. Soon, she'd say. No worries, I said. I'll come to Sibonga. Sibonga is very heavy traffic, she replied. And? I responded. That stumped her. Good job I wasn't relying on her to direct me. Filipinas are rubbish at directions. Ask a Filipina which direction Oslob is from Cebu City, she'll have no idea. They haven't got a clue which is north, south, east or west. Wait a while is another misleading phrase. This could range from 30 seconds to 3 days. Filipinas are a dichotomy. I've been waiting a while to truly understand them. I've only been here 4 years and nowhere near learning how to decode them. Good luck, everyone.
Just a quick reminder to please click the thumbs up button if you liked the video, or thumbs down button if you didn't. Obviously. Thank you. You've been watching Uncle, the man from Bigg World Cinema. Please like, subscribe and share with your friends.